fast, fair. Fox Toledo News. First and 10 starts right now.
First at 10, could an increase in burglaries lead to an increase in your insurance rates?
They're going to look at total claims paid over a period of time, for a given area, and then make sure that they're collecting enough rate.
Fewer police are on the streets in Toledo. The police chief says only priority investigations will get attention. That leaves homeowners vulnerable to thieves who are taking advantage of the situation. We sent Fox Toledo's Heather Miller out to find out what some of the consequences could be for you. She's on the scene to tell us what she found.
According to this police crime log, there were more than 24 break-ins reported in under 20 hours on Monday in Toledo. And it seems like not much is being done about it.
For a city our size, they have their hands full. They have their hands full. We do a very good job, an outstanding job on crimes against persons, the robberies, the murders, the rapes. We have never done a great job with property crime, and unfortunately we're going to do even less with property crime because the fact of the matter is we just don't have the detectives to do it. And that is where you're going to see an impact from these layoffs.
That's what Police Chief Mike Navarre told Toledo City Council earlier this month. Basically, he says he doesn't have the manpower to investigate property crimes. That leaves homeowners out in the cold and leaves them vulnerable, not just to crooks, but to an insurance hike.
There's a lot of components that go into affecting insurance rates, things like fires and tornadoes and things that we have a lot less control over. And not that we have control over thefts and things like that too, but there are things people can do to help mitigate that. And so all those things go into the components of rate setting. So if an increased rate of crime occurs and is sustained, it's going to ultimately affect rates probably at some point.
Dave Walbom has been a State Farm insurance agent for 26 years. He says crime is factored into insurance rates. He says Toledo residents as a whole already pay more for home insurance than the suburbs, and more crime could eventually drive that up even higher.
It would be rate oriented, right? I mean, it's going to, obviously the policies would still remain in force, but again, if it was sustained over a longer period of time, it could have an increase in rates, overall.
Dave says there are some things people can do to protect themselves from burglary and theft. He gives these handouts out to all of his customers and says common sense will carry them far, like keeping doors locked and closed, locking up jewelry and valuables, using deadbolts, keeping trees and shrubs trimmed, and strategic lighting. Now, there are even more tips on State Farm's website. For a link, just go over to our website, foxtoledo.com. Reporting on the scene in downtown Toledo, Heather Miller, Fox Toledo News, First at 10.